Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. Today's episode, we're talking about tension rings, whether you need it or not. A new crocheter has messaged and says, will they have better success? The question is will you really? If you have comments on this topic, I'd love to see it in the comments because maybe you've tried it and see if you like it or not, or have any extra tips. The problem for tension rings for me personally, and why I don't use them, is that when I crochet, it goes up over top of my hand just like this, and when I pinch, it's playing here. A lot of the tension rings are here. So the positioning for how I would crochet is out of position for me in order for me to do it. However, if I was new to crochet and I did not know to push it back like this, you may have success and get used to the motion. But if you're going to switch to a tension ring like this, that'll be like that. I would caution you though, because with crochet you have one tool, and then if you have a second one, which is a tension ring, if you're missing your tension ring, are you able to still crochet without it? So if you become dependent on something like that, you got to make sure that you're never going to lose it or have extra. So I want to show you the way that Daniel crochets. So Daniel crochets up like this, and so it's in front of his hand completely and just comes up over top of his finger. I can't crochet this way because he closes his hand, and so the tension is in his closed hand, and I feel like that's too much tension for me personally, but it may work for you. So with him, with having that, he could technically almost use a tension ring because of the way that he's crocheting. So if I get my little floral wire that I made a homemade sample, is that if I did it in Daniel's way here, the tension ring is normally underneath the finger like this. So he could technically do it like that, but you're missing all the distance of coming up over top of your finger by doing it like that. So you would have to get used to just being able to do it. Because I can't crochet the same way Daniel can, I really can't demonstrate this well without really struggling. So because it's not something I'm used to. Another thing that you could consider is that, and I don't like it either because I tried one of these as well, is that sometimes the tension rings can come up over top of your finger. So if I do push it all the way back down here to my hand, with my rings, when I don't wear jewelry, but because I don't wear jewelry, I don't like how rings can fly around on you. So if you've got too much tension, your ring could be pulling over and pulling it down through. So the ring, instead of staying up in position like it's supposed to for me, is that it can come down and therefore still rub against the top of my hand. So you have to be careful on what you're choosing, because the rings, just because the photograph or somebody's using it for 2 seconds on a video to show you how it works, doesn't mean that the ring for you will stay in position. A lot of us, including myself, we may have a wider knuckle than this area here, and that ring could just be flying around in your hands. Some of you that wear maybe wedding rings and etc. Probably have that experience more than anybody really. So you have to determine whether you're going to use something like this. For myself, I would get used to just continuing to practice the way that without using an extra tool like that. I'm not sponsored by any company that makes those anyway, so I'm not gonna say that you probably should do it, but even if I was sponsored, I would still not use it because it doesn't make sense for me, and I would get used to doing that. If you are having issues with tension, chances are it's the tension coming out of the ball. So for myself, is that I always have the ball off to the side and coming straight across into my hand. So I don't want to leave the ball up here in order to come in, because as soon as I'm starting to pull from the ball, it's starting to come out of my hand because it's in the wrong position. So I want it at my 8 o'clock position, so just slightly behind me here, so that when I pull the yarn, it's always just going to stay within the crease of my finger. So those are my tips for those kind of things. So whether you need it or not, it's kind of fun to have, but I think it might be something that will end up in your bottom of your crochet bag at some point and probably never see the light of day. But again, you can leave me a comment on what you're thinking.